造船队也出现了。
In our 40 days in China, one of our favorite provinces was Zhejiang. This province, southwest of Shanghai, has so much variety, including fun food and walkable streets, expansive tea plantations, bright green swamps you can kayak through, amazing light shows, a great spot to watch the Dragon Boat Festival, and has the world's longest glass water slide. After 1 week in Hunan province, Cece and I took a train to Hangzhou, another Chinese city most people have never heard of with about 9 million people. We went straight to Hefeng Pedestrian Street, where we grabbed a fistful of spicy chicken skewers. As we walked the streets, we noticed many restaurants selling beggar's chicken, which is a chicken cooked in a clay pot that is a typical dish in Hangzhou. Little did we know that unlike a rotisserie chicken in the United States, for example, in China it is literally the whole bird. So when the lady broke the clay casing, the chicken was staring up at us. We were committed by now, so we did our best to finish our beggar's chicken.
As long as you hide the head and you don't look at the feet shoved inside of it, it's just chicken.
We finished off dinner with some freshly made xianbing meat pies that were filled with pork and veggies. The Hefeng area is fun to walk around, and we enjoyed trying free samples and snagging some ice cream. Thank you. In the morning, I ran down to Westlake, where there were loads of groups out exercising and dancing. On our first full day in Hangzhou, we were excited to get out and explore the world-famous tea plantations on the western side of the city. This is fun. We're right on the edge of the city this morning, and China's the #1 producer in the world of tea, producing about 40% of the world's tea. So we're walking on some of these little paths and trails that go through these just bright green tea plantations. We had planned a point-to-point route which would lead us through several plantations before dropping us down on the backside of the ridge, where there is a small village loaded with local tea houses. It was a fantastic several-mile hike where we weaved our way through row after row of beautiful tea bushes. Being a huge fan of tea, Cece was in her element, soaking in all the amazing views. Longjing green tea, with a history of over 1,200 years, is famous in China as one of the premier green teas. In the village, we got a fresh cup of green tea right from the source.
To avoid the leaves.
That's good. Continuing with our tea-themed morning, we then walked over to the free National Tea Museum, where we learned about the importance of tea throughout the centuries in China. The final exhibit we visited was a video that flies you over some of the most beautiful tea plantations in China, which was pretty cool. You're flying. We had thoroughly enjoyed our half day in one of the hubs for tea in the entire world. On the way back from the tea area, we stopped at a couple of temples where monks were doing their chanting. We also stumbled across a Michelin-recognized restaurant where some local women were making amazing soups that hit the spot. Their signature noodle soup had bamboo shoots, peas, wood ear mushrooms, and cashew nuts, all for a very affordable price of about $3 a bowl. In the evening, we went out to the Wulin street market for some more local food. Before watching the light show at Westlake. On day 2, we took the metro all the way out to the water forest at Qingshan Lake, which allows visitors to experience a unique duckwood scenery that looks like a giant green carpet that covers the water's surface. After walking across the walkways for a bit, we were convinced that we needed to rent a kayak so we could paddle through this amazing bright green swamp. Although not that famous of a place, this ended up being one of our favorite activities in China, as neither of us had ever seen a spot like this before. And the water is just so green too. We took turns paddling our two-person kayak through the green blanket of duckwood as we tried our best to navigate between the clusters of tree trunks, which created the perfect obstacle course.
Oh. This is fun.
For an hour or so, we paddled across the lake, sliding through the bright green water. China has so much diversity, and we were pleasantly surprised that there were so few people out at the lake this morning, given that Hangzhou is not a small Chinese city. We made our way back to the city and walked around one of the historic cultural blocks. And watched some cute kids singing at their school graduation ceremony. We then made our way out to the east side of town where there were nice gardens and parks, which we walked through on our way down to the river.
Okay, someone's feeling good.
Where the Tianjin New City Light Show started around 7 p.m. The night spectacle features over 700,000 LED lights installed in high-rise buildings, creating an amazing show, which we had a great view of being across the water. China's cities have so many fun things that we always tell ourselves that Chinese people who travel to other countries must be really disappointed at how few spectacles and shows there are outside of China. Our third day in Hangzhou was the original reason that we'd come to the city in the first place, to see the Dragon Boat Festival. This is one of the biggest traditional Chinese holidays that occurs on the 5th day of the 5th month on the Chinese calendar, which corresponds to late May or early June. While the festival is celebrated in many places across China, we had read that the wetlands in Hangzhou was one of the best places to watch it. Thankfully, we were among the first people in line at 7 a.m. when the park opened, and we quickly made our way across to the starting line, where we grabbed a front row spot along the railway above the water. We were at a festival in China, so as it got closer to the start of the races, inevitably we were surrounded by loads of locals, but we held our ground not to get edged out of our position. An hour before the race, the festivities began as the boats of local, national, and international competitors began lining up near the start area. You could feel the energy in the crowd as the paddlers warmed up to cheers from thousands of spectators.
2号船冲线了，恭喜恭喜恭喜！
Finally, it was time for the first boats, which shot off down the wetland area. The Chinese boats were full of groups that were like well-oiled machines, while many of the foreign groups looked like they were thrown together with people who had never really paddled together. The race was fast, as every minute or so another group would take off down the 500-meter-long course. Several minutes later, the group would then return back up the course and cross the finish line.
冲线了，到达了我们的终点，是我们今天的第1名。让我们恭喜4号狭义西湖队冲线。中怡和龙之队也冲线了，让我们一起喊出恭喜。
Some with more style than others.
恭喜恭喜！8号船队也冲线了，8号是我到最后一刻不放弃，让我们一起为他们加油！恭喜恭喜！喊出他们的口号，潮起千江，龙腾五洲。
Despite the early wake-up and the fact that we had now been standing for 4 hours in the same position to hold our spots, we enjoyed the dragon boat races, as it's not every day you can experience one of China's most famous festivals. When the races finished, we walked across another couple miles of the extensive wetland park, which is really large considering it's inside a city of about 9 million people. After the throngs of people, we were happy to relax the rest of the day before leaving Hangzhou the following day. An hour or two outside of Hangzhou is Tienzi Sha theme park, While Cece and I don't really ever go to theme parks, the longest glass water slide in the world sounded like a good time. It was midweek, so the park was really quiet, and we hopped on our first magic carpet. These magic carpets made us feel like we were a box being shipped off in a warehouse. We were instructed to sit down, and we slid uphill at a snail's pace. After a couple magic carpet rides, we made it up to the first attraction, which was a large bridge passing through a couple of giant hands. We then got harnessed in to walk across a long, colorful suspension bridge, which had really great views of the greenery down beneath us.
You're going fast.
Our next stop was a giant silver sky mirror, which we had to borrow little purple booties again to walk on. Cece is the expert in jumping pictures, and several Chinese guys asked her to teach them how to take the perfect jumping picture. Next stop was the swings, which I honestly don't like, but since they were included in the entrance ticket, I figured I would try. Then we continued our uphill journey, but instead of on a magic carpet this time, it was the slowest moving carousel animal ride I'd ever seen. After an eternity on our leopard and tiger, it was another magic carpet ride.
I think this is magic carpet number 4.
Finally, it was time for the last two, and clearly the best two attractions in the park. We jumped in the little cars as the man instructed us how to go and to brake.
Yep.
Off we went down the tire line course and quickly picked up speed.
You're too fast, Pisces. Woo! It's fun. Whoa! Tight turn. Look at her go. Bye. Look at her go. Bye. Woo! Woo! Woo!
After the cars, it was time for the main event, the reason why we had come to the park in the first place, the world's longest glass water slide. We were given thin little purple ponchos to put over our clothes before getting in the 2-person raft.
And we're off! World's longest glass water slide!
The raft is just a little more narrow than the course, so there's no steering you need to do, but you can just hang on and enjoy the ride.
Oh, that got wet. Yeah, world's longest glass water slide.
Our first time at a Chinese theme park had been a success.
That was really fun.
We were so glad that the Dragon Boat Festival had brought us to Hangzhou. Hangzhou and the surrounding areas in Zhejiang province were some of our favorite highlights we saw in the amazing country of China.
哇，我们的千年舟队伍冲！
Ah!